Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you do not believe in yourself, nobody else will. God puts something special inside of you. In the moment you stop doubting and start trusting that gift, that is the moment your life changes. See, your true potential is not locked up somewhere far away. It is right here inside you. And today, I am here to help you unlock it. When you believe in your own vision before anyone else sees it, you step into a level of power that most people never reach in their lifetime. Every great dream, every breakthrough, every movement that changed the world started with one person holding a vision so strong in their heart that it kept them awake at night. That vision may not have made sense to others. It may not have looked realistic. It may not have even had evidence to back it up, but it was real to the one who carried it. The truth is, if you wait for others to validate your vision, you will wait forever because people cannot see what God placed inside of you. They cannot hear the whisper that you hear when you close your eyes at night. They cannot feel the fire that burns in your soul when you think about what you are called to do. That is why belief has to start with you. When you tell people your dream, sometimes they will laugh, sometimes they will doubt, sometimes they will shake their head and say, "That is impossible." What they are really saying is, "It is impossible for me." But just because they cannot see it for themselves does not mean you should throw away your gift. The greatest mistake you can make is handing your vision over to people who were never meant to carry it. Your dream is your responsibility, and your belief is the fuel that makes it come alive. The reality is, people do not get excited about something until it works. They celebrate the finished product, but they do not celebrate the construction process. While you are building, while you are struggling, while you are putting in the hours that nobody else sees, you will often feel alone, but that is exactly when you have to believe the most. Think about every successful person you admire. At one point, they had nothing but a dream and the courage to believe in it. Steve Jobs had a vision of a computer that would fit in people's homes, and at the time, that sounded ridiculous. Oprah Winfrey believed in her ability to connect with people's hearts through television when others doubted a young woman from Mississippi could ever dominate the media world. Michael Jordan believed in his ability to become the best even after being cut from his high school team. The common thread is not luck, not privilege, not even talent. It is belief. They believed before the world believed. Belief in your vision gives you the strength to keep going when circumstances tell you to quit. There will be moments when the money is not there, when the results are not showing up, when doors are closing in your face, and your only option is to hold on to the image of what you know you are capable of. That image in your mind becomes a source of energy. It keeps you grinding when others go to sleep. It keeps you focused when distractions are screaming for your attention. It keeps you moving when the weight of life tries to push you down. When you do not believe in yourself, you hand over your power to other people. You let their opinions dictate your decisions. Their fears shape your path. Their limitations control your destiny. But when you believe in your vision, you take back that power. You say, "I know where I am going," even if you cannot see it yet. That confidence shifts the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. People begin to sense something different about you, and eventually, the very people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. Belief is contagious. When you walk with conviction, others start to catch the energy. That is when doors open, opportunities show up, and support begins to flow. But none of it happens until you first decide to be your own number one supporter. You cannot expect others to clap for a song you are too afraid to play. You have to set the tone by standing firm in your vision, even if it means standing alone for a while. Believing in your vision is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is understanding that the Creator placed something specific inside of you for a reason. If He trusted you with it, that means you are equipped to make it real. Doubt is natural, fear is natural, uncertainty is natural, but belief is a choice. You may not control the timing, you may not control the obstacles, but you can control whether you believe in the vision or abandon it. And the ones who refuse to abandon it, the ones who wake up every day and push forward with belief, are the ones who eventually make history. Faith and action are the keys to unlocking potential because belief without movement is only half the journey. You can sit and dream all day long. You can talk about your goals. You can even write them down in beautiful detail. But unless you step out and act on them, they will remain trapped in your imagination. Faith is that invisible engine that pushes you forward even when logic says stop. It is that unshakable conviction that something greater is waiting on the other side of your effort. But faith alone will not carry you if you do not put action behind it. The two must work hand in hand. Faith to see what is not yet visible, and action to walk toward it until it becomes reality. Sure, think about it like a seed. You can believe that seed has the potential to grow into a tree, but if you never plant it, water it, and nurture it, it will never become what it was designed to be. Faith is knowing the seed can grow. Action is putting it in the soil and taking care of it every single day. So many people stop at faith. They sit with their dreams, talk about their dreams, but they never plant them. They expect life to hand them results without doing the work. But life does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards consistent action. Action is uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and persistence. It means showing up on the days you feel tired, discouraged, or even afraid. That is why faith is so essential, because faith gives you the courage to act when the outcome is uncertain. You cannot wait until everything is perfect, because perfection will never come. You cannot wait until every detail is clear, because clarity comes through the process. Faith says it, step out anyway. Action says, keep moving until you reach it. Together they unlock the doors that look sealed shut. History is filled with people who put faith and action together. Thomas Edison did not just believe in the possibility of the light bulb. He acted on it thousands of times until it finally worked. Nelson Mandela did not just believe in freedom for his people. He acted with persistence even when it cost him decades in prison. Mother Teresa did not just believe in compassion. She acted on it by dedicating her life to serving the poor. Their greatness was not just in their vision, but in their willingness to combine belief with relentless effort. When you live with faith but no action, you create frustration. You start to doubt yourself because you do not see progress, not realizing that progress cannot exist without steps forward. On the other hand, when you live with action but no faith, you burn out. You run in circles because you lack direction, and every obstacle feels like a dead end. But when you marry the two, faith gives you purpose and action gives you progress. You begin to see small results, and those results strengthen your faith even more, creating a cycle of growth and momentum. Faith and action also change the way you deal with failure. With faith, you do not see failure as a wall, but as a stepping stone. With action, you take the lessons from that failure and adjust your approach. Instead of quitting, you keep pressing forward. That resilience is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up too soon. Every setback becomes part of the process, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. There will be times when you cannot see how things will work out, when the path feels uncertain, when fear whispers that you should stop. That is when faith must rise. Faith tells you that the vision was not placed in your heart by accident. Faith tells you that the effort you are putting in is not wasted. Faith tells you that your breakthrough might be one step away. And then action demands that you take that step, even if it is small, even if it is shaky, even if nobody else is watching. Unlocking potential is never about waiting. It is about doing. It is about refusing to stay still while you wait for opportunities to knock, and instead creating your own opportunities through consistent action. It is about believing that the gift inside of you deserves expression and proving that belief by the way you live. When faith and action meet, potential can no longer stay hidden. It begins to unfold in ways you could not have planned because your effort aligns with your belief. And that combination produces results that surprise even you. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher, because the environment you place yourself in will either feed your growth or starve your potential. The people closest to you shape your mindset, influence your energy, and determine the standard you live by. If you spend your time around negativity, doubt, and small thinking, eventually that becomes your reality. But when you surround yourself with people who encourage you, challenge you, and believe in your vision, you begin to rise to a higher level. Human beings are naturally influenced by the company they keep, and success is rarely a solo journey. The right people can accelerate your growth, while the wrong people can quietly destroy it. Many dreams have been killed not because someone lacked talent or drive, but because they allowed the wrong voices to dominate their world. You might have a burning vision, but if you are constantly listening to people who say, you cannot do that, or that is impossible, those seeds of doubt start to grow. Before long, you may find yourself lowering your goals to match the limitations of others. That is why it is so important to protect your circle. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves to speak into your life. You have to make intentional choices about who you allow near your dreams. When you choose people who lift you high, you create an atmosphere of belief. These are the people who see your potential even when you cannot see it yourself. They remind you of your strength when you feel weak. They push you to go after opportunities you might have been too afraid to chase. They clap for you genuinely, not with hidden jealousy, but with pride because they want to see you win. They are not threatened by your success. Instead, they celebrate it because they know your success does not take away from theirs. That type of support system can be the difference between giving up and pressing on. But it is not just about encouragement. It is also about accountability. People who lift you higher will not let you settle for mediocrity. They will challenge you when you are slacking. They will call you out when you are making excuses. And they will push you beyond your comfort zone. Growth is not always comfortable, and the right circle knows that. They refuse to let you shrink yourself because they see what you are capable of becoming. That type of accountability can sting in the moment, but in the long run, it makes you stronger, sharper, and more prepared to reach your goals. Think about an eagle. Eagles do not fly with pigeons. They soar high, and their vision allows them to see from great distances. If you want to fly high, you cannot stay grounded with those who do not have wings strong enough to lift themselves. Too often, people try to take everyone with them, including those who are not ready to grow, and they end up weighed down by dead weight. Sometimes surrounding yourself with people who will consistently pull you down. That does not mean you hate them. It simply means you choose to protect your energy and prioritize your purpose. Look at the lives of great achievers, and you will see that their success was connected to the people around them. Athletes have coaches and teammates who push them beyond their limits. Entrepreneurs have mentors who guide them through obstacles. Artists have collaborators who inspire them to stretch their creativity. Nobody wins alone. The myth of the self-made person is just that, a myth. Every great accomplishment is fueled by a network of support, encouragement, and constructive challenge. Surrounding yourself with the right people also expands your perspective. When you stay in a small circle of like-minded individuals who are not striving for more, your world remains limited. But when you connect with people who think bigger, who see possibilities you never considered, your own vision begins to expand. You start to realize that your goals are not too big. They might actually be too small. The right people help you dream beyond what you thought was possible and inspire you to raise your standards. Energy is contagious. And if you are around people who are constantly complaining, doubting, or quitting, that energy will seep into you. On the other hand, if you are around people who wake up with drive, who face challenges with determination, who keep moving forward despite setbacks, you will absorb that same spirit. The atmosphere around you is a silent teacher, and whether you realize it or not, you are learning from it every day. That is why it is crucial to build an environment that teaches you resilience, perseverance, and belief. Choosing the right circle is not always easy because it often requires tough decisions. You may outgrow certain friendships. You may realize that some family members, while loved, cannot be the voices you listen to daily. You may have to distance yourself from people you once relied on because their mindset no longer aligns with your vision. But the reward of surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher is that you gain the strength, encouragement, and inspiration to keep climbing even when the journey gets hard. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson for growth because every setback carries within it the seed of wisdom that success cannot teach you. Most people fear failure as if it is a sign of weakness, but in reality, failure is evidence that you tried, that you stepped out of your comfort zone, that you reached beyond the ordinary. Nobody who has achieved greatness has done so without stumbling along the way. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not the absence of failure, but how they respond to it. Failure, when embraced, becomes the greatest teacher you will ever have, shaping your resilience, sharpening your skills, and building your character in ways that smooth victories never could. When you fail, the world does not end. It only feels like that in the moment because disappointment has a way of clouding your perspective. But once the dust settles, you begin to see that the failure exposed something valuable. Maybe it showed you a weakness you need to strengthen. Maybe it revealed a strategy that does not work. Maybe it forced you to rethink your priorities and align them with what truly matters. These lessons are not punishments. They are preparations. They prepare you for the success you are destined to achieve, but could not handle without the growth that failure demands of you. Think about the stories of inventors, leaders, and creators throughout history. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb. When asked about those failures, he said he did not fail, but simply discovered thousands of ways that did not work. That shift in perspective is powerful because it turns failure into feedback. Walt Disney was fired early in his career because his boss told him he lacked imagination. Imagine if he had let that failure define him instead of fuel him. Oprah Winfrey was told she was not fit for television, and yet she went on to become one of the most influential media figures in the world. Their failures were not endpoints. They were lessons that propelled them forward. Failure also builds resilience. Each time you fall and get back up, you strengthen the muscle of perseverance. Life will not always go according to plan, and setbacks are inevitable, but resilience ensures that you do not break under pressure. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is forged in the fires of failure. Every disappointment you survive becomes proof that you can endure, and with each recovery, your confidence grows stronger. Eventually, you begin to see failure not as a threat, but as an opportunity to prove your strength to yourself. Another gift of failure is humility. Success can make people arrogant, blind to their flaws, and careless with their choices. Failure, however, reminds you that you are human, that you do not have all the answers, that there is always more to learn. Humility keeps you teachable, and a teachable spirit is essential for long-term growth. When you fail, you are reminded to listen, to adapt, to improve. Instead of thinking you know it all, you start seeking guidance, mentorship, and wisdom. That humility becomes an asset because it allows you to absorb knowledge and grow in ways that pride would never permit. Failure also clarifies desire. Many times when you face a setback, you are forced to ask yourself, do I want this badly enough to try again? If the answer is yes, then the failure becomes fuel, driving you with even greater determination. If the answer is no, then the failure has served its purpose by revealing that this path was not truly aligned with your passion. Either way, you gain clarity. Failure strips away the surface level intentions and leaves behind only what is real. It shows you what you are willing to fight for and what you can let go of. That kind of clarity is invaluable on the journey toward unlocking your true potential. The fear of failure stops more dreams than failure itself ever could. People hold back, play small, and settle for less because they do not want to feel the sting of falling short. But the irony is that by avoiding failure, they also avoid growth, and by avoiding growth, they guarantee regret. Failure is temporary, but regret lasts a lifetime. When you accept failure as part of the process, you free yourself from the chains of perfectionism and open yourself up to the beauty of progress. Failure is not fought unless you quit. Every time you choose to rise after a fall, you rewrite the meaning of that failure. It no longer becomes a mark of defeat, but a badge of perseverance. The most successful people are not those who never failed. They are those who failed the most but refused to stay down. Every scar, every disappointment, every mistake became part of the foundation they built their success upon. Discipline and consistency will take you further than talent because talent may give you a head start, but without structure, focus, and perseverance, it eventually runs out of fuel. Talent is often celebrated as the key to success, but the truth is that the world is full of talented people who never reach their potential because they lack discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. Consistency is the practice of showing up day after day, putting in the work, and refusing to quit when progress feels slow. When these two forces combine, they create momentum that talent alone cannot sustain. Talent might open the first door, but discipline and consistency are what keep you in the room. They are what transform raw ability into mastery. You can have the greatest gift in the world, but if you are not willing to practice, refine, and commit to improving, your gift remains underdeveloped. Discipline forces you to manage your time, set boundaries, and make sacrifices. It means choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. Consistency ensures that those small choices repeated daily add up to significant results. Together, they create habits that build character, and character sustains success longer than talent ever could. Think about athletes at the highest level. Natural ability may get them noticed, but it is the hours of training, the strict diets, the relentless workouts, and the disciplined routines that make them champions. Michael Jordan is often remembered as one of the most talented basketball players of all time, but he was also known for being the first to arrive at practice and the last to leave. His greatness was not only in his talent, but in his discipline and consistency. In the same way, Serena Williams' success is not only because of her skill with a racket, but because of the countless hours she spent training when nobody was watching. Talent is the spark, but discipline and consistency are the firewood that keep the flame burning. Discipline is what gets you started, but consistency is what compounds your efforts into results. When you are consistent, even small actions accumulate into something powerful. A single workout may not change your body, but daily workouts transform your health. One day of studying may not make you an expert, but years of disciplined learning make you wise. Writing one page may not produce a book, but writing every day creates a manuscript. The power is not in the grand gestures. It is in the repeated actions that build momentum over time. Consistency turns ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. The challenge is that discipline and consistency are not glamorous. They do not attract applause or instant recognition. They are quiet, steady forces that operate in the background. Most people get excited about the idea of success, but they are not willing to commit to the boring, repetitive steps that success requires. That is why discipline is rare and consistency is even rarer. But those who embrace them separate themselves from the crowd. While others give up when motivation fades, disciplined people keep going. While others wait for the perfect conditions, consistent people create results by moving forward anyway. Another reason discipline and consistency matter more than talent is because they prepare you to endure adversity. Life will not always cooperate with your plans. There will be obstacles, delays, and setbacks. Talent may get discouraged, but discipline adapts. Consistency keeps you moving even when progress feels invisible. This resilience is what ultimately leads to breakthroughs. Success is not a straight line. It is a journey filled with ups and downs. Discipline keeps you steady and consistency keeps you climbing. Discipline also gives you freedom. At first, it feels restrictive to follow a schedule, to say no to distractions, or to limit certain pleasures. But over time, discipline creates structure, and that structure allows you to live with purpose. It frees you from chaos and procrastination because you know exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it. Consistency gives you confidence because you can look back and see the track record of your effort. Together, they create a sense of control over your life which talent alone cannot provide. In every field, business, art, sports, education, the people who rise to the top are not always the most talented, but the most disciplined. They are the ones who show up when others quit. They are the ones who keep working when others lose focus. They are the ones who stay consistent long enough for opportunities to meet preparation. That is the hidden truth of success. It is not the brightest or most gifted who win, but the most disciplined and consistent. Discipline and consistency also build trust, not only with others, but with yourself. When you consistently keep your word to yourself, waking up early, finishing tasks, following through on commitments, you build self-respect. You start to trust that you will do what you say you will do. That self-trust becomes the foundation of confidence. Others begin to trust you as well because they see your reliability and dependability. In a world where talent is common but discipline is scarce, that kind of consistency makes you stand up. Never stop dreaming, because your dream is your map to destiny, and without it you lose direction, purpose, and the fire that keeps you moving forward when life gets tough. Dreams are not just fantasies or wishful thinking, they are the blueprints of what is possible for you. They give you something to reach for, something that pulls you out of bed in the morning, something that gives meaning to the struggles you face along the way. The moment you stop dreaming is the moment you start shrinking your life to fit the limits of your present circumstances instead of expanding it to match your potential. Dreams give birth to vision, and vision gives birth to action. When you dream, you allow yourself to see beyond what is and into what could be. That mental picture of a brighter future begins to shape your decisions in the present. You start walking differently, talking differently, and thinking differently because you are guided by the image of where you want to go. Without a dream, you drift. You let life push you wherever it wants, and you settle for less than you deserve. With a dream, you take control because you now have a destination in mind. Some people stop dreaming because they have been disappointed too many times. They once had big goals, but life knocked them down, and they convinced themselves it is safer not to hope again. Others stopped dreaming because the world told them their dreams were unrealistic or too ambitious. The truth is, every great achievement in history was once considered impossible. Flying was a dream before airplanes existed. Walking on the moon was a dream before astronauts made it a reality. Communicating across the globe instantly was a dream before technology gave us the internet. Dreams are often ridiculed at first, but they are the seeds of progress. When you hold on to your dream, you give yourself permission to grow. Growth is uncomfortable, but your dream keeps pulling you out of comfort and into purpose. It stretches you, challenges you, and pushes you to discover abilities you never knew you had. It keeps you focused when distractions surround you and motivated when obstacles block your path. Your dream is not meant to be easy. It is meant to be worth it. And the pursuit of it transforms you into the person capable of living it out. Dreams also have a way of inspiring others. When people see you chasing your dream with passion and persistence, it awakens something inside them. It gives them courage to dust off their own dreams and start believing again. Your dream is not just for you. It is connected to the lives you will touch, the people you will inspire, and the impact you will leave behind. That is why it is so important never to give up on it. To abandon your dream is not only to deny yourself, but also to deny the world the gift of what you were meant to create. Dreams evolve over time, and that is natural. What you dreamed of as a child may look different as an adult, but the essence remains. It is a pursuit of something bigger than yourself. Sometimes your dream grows with you, becoming clearer as you gain experience. Other times, one dream leads to another, opening doors you never expected. The key is to keep dreaming, to keep your imagination alive, because the moment you stop, life becomes routine and predictable. A routine life without vision may feel safe, but it robs you of fulfillment. Dreams give you resilience in the face of failure. When you know what you are working toward, failure is just a temporary detour instead of a dead end. Your dream gives you the courage to try again, to rise up, to keep fighting until you find another way. It becomes your anchor when storms hit, reminding you why you started in the first place. Without a dream, challenges can crush you. With a dream, challenges shape you. The beauty of dreaming is that it requires no permission. Nobody can stop you from dreaming. Nobody can tax your dreams. Nobody can confiscate them. They belong entirely to you. But while dreaming costs nothing, fulfilling those dreams costs effort, sacrifice, and persistence. The dream itself is free, but the price of making it real is paid through discipline, patience, and consistency. That price is worth paying because living without a dream is far more expensive. It costs you your purpose, your joy, and your sense of fulfillment. Dreams are timeless. Age does not disqualify you from dreaming. You are never too young to dream big, and you are never too old to dream again. History is full of people who accomplished their greatest achievements later in life because they refused to stop dreaming. The body may grow older, but the spirit of a dreamer stays young, vibrant, and alive. As long as you have breath, you have the capacity to dream.